today I will be showing you guys how to replace your worn steering wheel in a B7 A4. Now right here I have a nice perforated leather one without any wear, and it's a 3-spoke unlike my prior, or my current 4-spoke steering wheel, which unfortunately is very worn. I also would like to apologize for the unnecessary amount of wind that will be in this video. Without further ado, I will now show the tools and essentially the necessary steps in order to do this safely and properly. Now here on this table I have all I need for this install. Firstly, I have the steering wheel and everything that comes with it, being these little covers, this bit that I guess sort of locks in the main wheel, and these bolts which secure the airbag. Over here, this will be used to actually take off the old steering wheel and install the new one. This is it's a TX55, I believe. Yeah, it's a TX55. As you can see, this is a 1/2-inch driver. Then I have a slight extension on it so I don't scratch the rim. This is a TX30, and this will be used to detach the airbag. This right here is a 3/8 inch driver. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. This is to take off the battery, and although it is quite rusty, it'll certainly do the trick. This is a 10 wrench, and this is an extension, which I may or may not need. We will shortly find out. So first step is, let's disconnect the battery, because I don't want the current airbag to blow up in my face. That would be kind of awkward. Now, the first order of operation when dealing with airbags is probably to disconnect the battery, unless you have a death wish of some sort. So first I'm going to undo the negative terminal. As you can see, I'm just tilting this to the left. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't explode in my face or something, which is kind of an irrational fear. However, it is one that I certainly had. And once it gets loose enough, which it's not loose enough right now, it should just come right off. Now, Audi says that you just have to do the negative terminal. Yeah, you can hear it like sparking and stuff like that, which I hate. That scares me, by the way. Now, Audi claims you only have to do the negative terminal. I think I'm going to do both just for safety measures. However, whatever you do is your decision. I mean, hell, you could probably just do it without disconnecting the battery. Now, I certainly wouldn't advise that, but it is an option. Yeah, stop. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, hopefully this doesn't explode or something. Now at this point the car should be off, which you can always take an extra. Yeah, as you can see, I have the key in the ignition. Nothing is happening. So press the radio, nothing's happening. Whatever. So we know we're in good hands now to start getting off. The first step in removing this airbag cover, which is what you're going to do first to get off the wheel, is taking off these little plugs right here. Now there's one on the opposite side, and they're really easy to take off. I mean, I, for one, just tend to just stick my finger in there and then just pull out on it. Usually you can just wiggle it out, and then we got another one on the other side, and the same process will be used. Now, as you can probably tell, there is a substantial amount of wear on the steering wheel. I don't know how this happens, but this is going to get fixed. No longer will I have a deteriorating steering wheel, although I am quite disappointed because I will end up missing this wood rim, which I did quite like. I tilted the wheel for easier access, but you're going to take your whatever driver you have and your TX30 bit and just essentially just go to town. So first you gotta just kind of locate the thing. All right, we're definitely gonna need an extension. I'll be back in a second. Now, once you have gotten your extension, you can, this isn't not very stable, but once you've gotten your extension, you can start doing your work, I suppose. So essentially just locate the little thing and, wait a second, I'm just tightening this right now. Give me a second. After struggling for a considerable amount of time, I finally got this bolt off. This probably would have been a whole lot easier if I actually just had a screwdriver, perhaps a slightly smaller ratchet, but in the end I still got the job done. And now I will move on to the next side. Now, as you can see, the steering wheel, or at least the airbag's kind of loose on one side. So upon doing the other side, it should just come right off. Now I have taken off both bolts, and as you can see, the airbag's quite loose. Now this is where you gotta be careful, as there is one little thing that you need to unplug. I can't get this, there we go. So there's a little thing right there I need to unplug. And it's actually a really simple clip. You essentially just pull back the purple thing and then it pops just right out. And be careful to not damage, there's another little wire here, this little black thing right there, because that controls your switches. All right, so I've now broken the little like blue seal thing, which I'm gonna have to reapply more of that. And as you can see, this little nut is just coming right off. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then pretty soon this will just sort of come right off, and then the steering wheel will be sitting there However, there is one last step you need to do before you take off the wheel. Now, before you remove the steering wheel, you gotta be very careful not to move the clock spring. Now, fortunately, Audis are locking. However, there is a pin, and essentially when you press down it, you'll be able to freely spin around the clock spring and whatnot. And you really do not want to do that, because then when you reinstall your wheel, it'll be misaligned, and nobody wants that for obvious purposes. So just, once again, make sure to be careful, be mindful of that. And now let's install the new wheel. As one can see, I have the wheel all lined up. It's really easy to line up because you have this little connector right here, and these are the pins that allow the wheel to move. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to apply new, it essentially makes it so the wheel like stays in place, and you just apply a little bit of that to the thing and sort of just thread it in here before finally tightening it. Now my steering wheel is on securely, and we can now plug the airbag back in. So this is going to be very simple, though quite hard to do with one hand. You just take essentially this thing right here and put it into that. Now, bear in mind the purple bit will be on the top. Now, as one can see, the airbag is in securely. Upon pressing it on the yellow part, you'll hear the purple part snap, and that's how you know everything's all plugged in. And then once again, the switches for the buttons, why did I just say? The buttons for the switches, I guess the little control bit right here, slots perfectly into this neat little slot. So just set it in there, and then you can finally set the airbag back into place. And then once again, just have to tighten the TX3s and whatnot, and then just like that, your airbag will be secure, and then you can reconnect your battery. As you can see, this is a much needed improvement. Now, I've gotten this top bolt here, and one thing I actually didn't realize is I was literally tightening the bolt for like 5 minutes before I realized I hadn't even like slotted it in to the hole itself. Now, what you have to do is you have to sort of stick your finger in there and poke the bolt until you sort of hear it it'll make a slight clicking noise, and that's how you know the bolt actually went inside of the little, it's kind of hard to explain. There's sort of a frame on the back of the airbag, and in the frame there's a hole with a thread so the bolt can go through it, and upon sort of pressing it on the bolt, you will essentially feel it secure into that thread. So make sure you do that, or else you'll just be like me, constantly tightening the bolt and not realizing, but questioning why nothing is happening. So now, as you can see, I finally have a nice non-worn steering wheel. This is a very nice 3-spoke one, perforated leather. I mean, it truly is quite nice. So yeah, and the horn works and everything. There's even gap along the top and whatnot. So I'm just going to reconnect my battery, and then we'll see how I did. So hopefully it just doesn't blow up the second I connect my battery. So yeah, let's find out. All right, so I was editing the video for the airbag, which I actually filmed like 2 months ago, and I just realized that I lost the last clip. So here is the finished product, and I will demonstrate that it does not really, it works, I suppose. You can see car starts. I gotta make sure that nothing plays or else. All right, there we go. So you can see airbag looks good, everything's pretty functional, and this is definitely worth upgrading in my opinion. It feels so much better. It makes the car feel better to drive and everything. I didn't actually quite realize how nice of an upgrade a steering wheel was. It just feels phenomenal, and I would totally recommend doing this if you have any like Volkswagen product. I actually didn't even notice it has these little bolsters right here, which feel very nice, especially at the 9 and 3 position. It kind of fits in the palm of your hand. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow these instructions that I presented. You'll be in good shape, and you'll have a nice upgrade. So thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, I apologize for not actually uploading it until like 2 months afterwards and forgetting, or like, I guess I lost the clip. I'm pretty sure I filmed it. So yeah, thank you and have a great day.